What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm going to be doing today is going to be a simple, easy macaroni and cheese. This is a macaroni and cheese you can do kind of stovetop style. You could oven bake it, or you can even smoke it out on your smoker or grill. What we're going to be doing is just oven baking this today. We have a few simple ingredients to knock this out, so let's take a look at those. All right, Mason, tell them what we're working with.
We're working with today some large macaroni noodles, some thick cut bacon, flour, heavy cream, and we already got some shredded up in this bowl here, some bacon Gouda and some jalapeno Gouda.
So those are all the ingredients we're going to be using. What I will do is put the ingredients and amounts in the description below. The first thing we're going to do is, and we are going to season this as well, we are going to be using some Slap Your Mama seasoning. Our first step in this though is to start cooking down our bacon, so let's get to that. So now Mason's going to start cooking up this bacon. Now this is going to be some bacon that we can either just mix in with our macaroni and cheese, or we can top it with it. I haven't made up my mind what we're going to do with it yet. I just know it's going to be a great addition. So go ahead and get that in the skillet. In the meantime, I'm going to be cooking our macaroni per the instructions on the packaging. All right, that bacon looks good. What we're going to do now is remove the bacon, and we're going to save that grease that's left over from the bacon to make our roux for this macaroni. We have the pasta cooked, we got our bacon cooked, and I've reserved about a quarter cup of this bacon grease. Now we're going to stir in a little bit of flour, and we're just going to eyeball this. And what I want to do is I want to cook this not until it becomes like a roux, but almost more like a bechamel or something. We just want to cook it long enough to cook out that gluten in the flour. And I'm going to say that we're almost equal parts flour and oil. And we have that cooked down. Now I'm going to add our heavy cream. And if you don't have heavy cream, milk would work just as well. If you wanted, you could also use condensed milk. And if you didn't want to use milk, you could actually use like almond milk and something like this. And this is going to kind of thicken up almost to a gravy. That's what we're going to be looking for. Throw that away. And I have our skillet on about a medium low right now. Now I'm going to let this cook for about 3 minutes on that medium low. It's going to start thickening up, then we're going to hit it with this cheese. So guys, looks like we have a nice gravy type consistency here. We're going to add our cheese, and Mason's going to stir that in. Like I said, we have two types of cheese. We are going to want this to be extra creamy, or extra cheesy, should I say. And I've reserved a tad bit for our topping. What we're going to do is let this cook down for about another 5 minutes until it's all smoothed out. So guys, we got our cheese sauce where we want it. We have our macaroni cooked. Now I have my macaroni separated into two different pots because I don't want to add too much or too little of the cheese sauce. So I'm just going to kind of spoon this in. And I'm just going to kind of stir it up a little bit as I go. And I'll show you what that final product looks like before we throw it in our dish. think we are good to go. You know what I think is going to be really good? No, that might be making it too cheesy. I was even going to add some more grated cheese in the middle of this, but I think we're good to go. All right, go ahead and throw that in the sink. Stir this in. I'll bring you guys in so you can take a look kind of what our consistency is, and then we're going to get it in our casserole dish. I did decide that we're just going to add that bacon, sprinkle that on top as opposed to having it mixed in with our macaroni and cheese. Now guys, one thing I'm going to mention is when you're making this cheese sauce, depending on the cheese that you use, you may or may not want to season that sauce before you add it to the noodles. I tasted my sauce, and one thing I didn't mention is I did not need to add any additional seasoning to that. So that slap your mom I was planning on using, we're not going to need that in this recipe. So the cheese I used worked out just fine. Here's kind of what our mixture's looking like. So there we go. Hit it with our cheese. And I have enough to make 2 pans of this. Hit it with our bacon. I'm going to throw this in the oven at 375 degrees for 30 minutes. So here's what they look like coming out of the oven. I did let them cool down for a minute. Now I'm just going to cut some out. We'll taste it and see what's up. So that is a wrap. Now what I did do once it was done getting baked in the oven at 375 degrees for 30 minutes, I did mix that in together as opposed to just cutting them into squares. Just made it a little bit creamier. Let's taste it. This is very rich. If you're looking for something that's a little bit lighter, maybe use that milk as opposed to heavy cream. But this right here is more of a meal than a side dish. Absolutely wonderful. Didn't need any seasoning. And this cheese, I bought this on sale like at Big Lots or something. It's by Freshly Made. Jalapeno Gouda, Bacon Gouda. Great macaroni and cheese. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, I'm out.